need a pilot.
Hey y'all, Mrs. Mod here, the one and only, and we are back with another review today. We are going to be diving into January's so-called blockbusters flight risk. Now, let's be real. January is usually Hollywood's cool down period, where they stash the meh movies. So, does flight risk break the mold, or is it just another post-holiday slump? Let's find out. Alright, so this film, it stars Mark Wahlberg as a deranged hitman, Topher Grace as the informant he's after, and Michelle Dockery as a deputy U.S. Marshal escorting said informant. Sounds promising, right? Yeah. Well, before we get ahead of ourselves, let me hit you with a heads up. The entire movie takes place inside of a crop duster. Yes, you heard it. A freaking crop duster. If you're claustrophobic, consider this your warning because flight risk does not let up on the tight quarters. Now, let's talk performances. Mark Wahlberg, he steals the show as this ruthless, gritty character. His southern twang is, well, let's just say it's unique. I'm not sure if I loved it or cringed at it, but I'll give him this. When he delivers that line, y'all need a pilot, I couldn't help but laugh out loud. But here's the deal. This is definitely a low-budget movie that's trying to tell a much bigger story than it really has the time or the budget to pull off. At 91 minutes, you think it would fly by. Get it? See what I did there? But oddly enough, it feels really long. And when a movie feels longer than its actual runtime, it's not really a great sign there.
This movie is actually marketed as an action thriller, and sure, on paper it does tick those boxes, but watching it more, it felt like we were dropped into like a finale of a generic cop thriller from back in the day. And you know, the type with faceless characters, and you're supposed to care about them, even though you don't have no true reason to. And don't even get me started on the so-called love connection. It, at the most ill-will times, like, sir, I'm in this situation, help me out here.
Help me! Me, nigga.
And as this movie opened up, there was a CGI animal that they showed, and I just knew what we were getting ourselves into right off the bat. When you have this type of budget and it stretches for even bad CGI, it's like you know what type of ride you're in for, and it's not the good kind. But just rounding back off to the cast really quick, I have to say, I enjoyed Topher Grace in this one. Sure, at times it felt like he was overdoing it, but when you really think back on his character, a desperate informant, ready to do anything to survive at that point, it kind of works. Honestly, he's all of us in that plane. Panic, scrambling, and really trying to get out of this mess by any way possible. And also, side note, MCU, hey, listen up. Can we get my guy Topher just some redemption? Let's get him back into the swing of things, all right? Since we're throwing puns around all day.
I like being bad. It makes me happy.
Now, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not typically the biggest fan of movies that take place in just one location. They tend to get boring fast, and you're left sitting there like, all right, what's next? Something else has to happen. Unfortunately, this movie was no exception. The storyline, honestly, mediocre at best. Even when the first conflict hit, I found myself yelling in my head. How? Seriously. Now, I get it. Suspension of disbelief is part of the deal. But there's a fine line, and this movie tripped over it more than once. It asked us to go along with stuff that just was way too far-fetched. And to top it off, you could see the entire movie and how it was going to play out from a mile away. Talk about zero surprises, no twists, just there. Honestly, even the trailers didn't promise much. They set the bar low, and yet somehow I still walked away disappointed. It felt like we were building up to something big, something meaningful. But nope, just one letdown after another.
So word on the street is that director Mel Gibson is actually an ambassador for Hollywood. You know, I'm not into the whole politics game, but he did vow on fixing Hollywood and fixing the issues. And I just want to advise, if this is his attempt to fix things, I just have to say this ain't it. This ain't it at all. And I understand this is his first film in I think about a decade. And honestly, it just did not land for me. There's nothing here that grabs you. There's nothing that's going to stick with you after. And if this is the kind of effort that we're going to expect moving forward, not feeling too optimistic about what's next either. But ultimately that's for a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. But what you guys have really came here for, what you guys have been waiting on, what do we officially give Flight Risk? Save your coins.
All right, my beautiful people. First and foremost, a big thank you to everyone who made it to the end of the video. Y'all are the real MVPs. Now, have you seen Flight Risk? What did you think? And can we talk about Mark Wahlberg's hairline for a second? I mean, let's just take a moment of silence. Yeah, okay. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell for more fun reviews. And as always, tell somebody you love them. We love y'all. God bless y'all. And until next time, let us go to the movies for you. Bye.